Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know I'm a weirdo, so I really appreciate you being here. So my brows are already done. Figured you guys didn't want to be bothered with all that nonsense, so we are just gonna jump right in. So I am going to be priming my eyelids with the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. It's one of my favorite concealers ever, and it's drugstore, so that's awesome. Highly recommend it. And I'm just gonna take this brush that I got in a BoxyCharm a couple months back to blend that out really quickly. And then I'm just gonna take a fluffy brush with some translucent powder and set the concealer really quick. Cool, so I'm gonna be using the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette for this eye look. And I'm going to start with Salted Caramel, one of my favorite shades in the palette. I've hit pan on it. So I'm taking this on a big fluffy brush from Morphe, and I'm really just blowing this out in the crease, not really being precise or fancy or anything like that, just laying the color down and really blowing it out so that the other shades that we put on top of it later blend out seamlessly. Awesome. So now I'm going into Milk Chocolate on a still fluffy brush, but it's a little bit denser than the one that we used before. And I'm really focusing this color in the socket of my eye, like right in the crease. And I'm also putting a little bit of this color on the outer corner as well to kind of be a little transition to the really dark color that we're gonna lay in there later on. Awesome, so just taking that giant crease brush again and just blending those two colors that I put in my crease together so that there's no harsh lines. So now I'm taking a little packing brush, or it's actually a big packing brush, in white chocolate, I believe, and I'm just putting that white color or cream color all over my eyelid to really brighten up that area and make my eyes appear larger than they are. A big word of advice that I could give you guys is sometimes when you put really dark colors on top of your eyelid, it can make your eyes look smaller. So when you put like a flesh toned or a cream color on top, it could make them look bigger. And a little happy dance. Cool, so I'm just going back in with Milk Chocolate and re-intensifying that in the crease because it got a little bit blended away when I put that lid shade down. Awesome, so now I'm going into the darkest shade in the palette, and I'm just really carefully putting this on the outer corner of my eye. I don't want to get too intense with this because I don't want this to really be a smoky eye, but I really wanted that definition in the outer corner to just give the eyes a little bit of pop, especially where we're going to be adding a wing. I felt like the darkness on the outer corner was appropriate for that, but we don't want it to get too out of hand. Cool, and then just going back in with Milk Chocolate and blending the darker color into the crease a little bit. And then I'm just gonna go back in with white chocolate on that brush and re-intensify that on the lid because the darker color kind of muddied it up a little bit. And just putting that same color white chocolate on my brow bone as well to highlight it. Awesome, sweet. So now for the liner. So, you know, this really depends on the person, and I am not the best at winged liner. That's why I never do it on my channel, but I figured you guys should probably see it because I am a beauty YouTube channel, so I should probably at least try to do a wing. So pretty much what I do is I just line the lash line on top first and then worry about the wing later. A big tip I could give you guys for the perfect wing, even though I'm not really that great at it, is to just line it with the end of your eyebrow. So if you just line the wing to line up with the tail of your brow, you should be all set and they should be even on both sides. But I say that and I was freaking out because getting your wings to match perfectly is a struggle, and the power of editing made it look really easy, but I can promise you it took me forever. And then all you have to do is just connect the line that you drew to your brow with the line that you put on your lash line and just fill it in and you should be good to go. I'm very happy that those wings are done. So I'm taking this mascara by L'Oreal, and I'm just putting a thin coat of mascara on my lashes because we are going to use falsies. These ones are by Kiss, and it was my first time ever using these ones. I'll put all of the information down in the description bar below, but these are really good. They feel really high quality, and they're really cheap. I got them at Walmart for like $5, and they're really good. I highly recommend them. I never wear false lashes either, you guys know this. I'm not a big falsie wearer, but I felt like this look kind of called for them, so it did take me a little bit longer to put these guys on, but once they were on there, it was worth it. They were awesome. Sweet, and what a difference lashes make. I mean, come on. Awesome. So we are just going to go straight into the face. I'm going to prime my face with this Becca primer to give me a little bit more glow to my skin because my skin was feeling really dry that day. So I put that all over to give me a little bit of glow. And then I went in with the Cover FX Blurring Primer. I got this in a BoxyCharm last month. And I'm focusing this guy right on my pores, on my nose, and on my cheeks. Not really putting this really anywhere else, just in that area of my face because that's where my pores are the largest. So I don't know why I didn't show a clip of the foundation that I'm using, but I'm using the L'Oreal Pro Glow Foundation, one of my favorite foundations on the market ever. If you guys haven't tried this yet, you can get it at Walmart for like $7. It's really good. One of the best foundations ever, I swear to you. Try it out. It's so good. That's the tricky part with doing your brows before your foundation. You gotta make sure that you don't get any foundation in the brows. And it's a little bit tricky, but I always feel that the brows look better before you do your foundation and everything else. So it's a small price to pay. It's worth it. Cool. So I'm just gonna go in with concealer, and I'm using the same concealer that I used for, priming my eyes. It's the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. And I'm putting this underneath my eyes, and I'm also using this to highlight my forehead and my chin area. And I'm just going in with this Morphe sponge and blending that out on my chin and on my forehead. And for under my eyes, lately I've been using a brush rather than a sponge because I feel like a brush just gives me way more full coverage, and that's what I'm looking for in concealer because I have some really bad under eye circles, and the more full coverage the better. And this concealer is really good, but when you use it with a sponge, it kind of shears it out a little. And so with a brush, it just keeps it at its full opacity. It's really full coverage. It's really great, and I love it. Being careful of those wings that I took 45 minutes on. Okay. Cool. And so I'm using the sponge to set my under eyes with the Coty Airspun translucent powder. It's the same powder that I used to set my eyelids before we applied the shadow. Really good powder. I don't know why it's taken me so long to try it, but it's really good and it's really cheap. Try it. And I'm also using that to set my smile lines as well. And my nose, I believe. Yep. Awesome. So now I'm going in with this IT Cosmetics powder, and this is a really full coverage powder. It's actually a foundation powder, so if you guys aren't into like the super full coverage cake face like I am, maybe try a powder that's kind of meant to be just like a setting powder. This one is actually a powder foundation, so it's going to give you more full coverage, but that's what I was looking for that day. My skin was not in a good place. Awesome. So now I'm just taking the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer and using another brush that I got in a BoxyCharm to bronze up my face. And the cool thing about this brush is that it also kind of contours at the same time. So you kind of get, your bronzer and your contour done at the same time, which is awesome. And, just doing the forehead, or the 5 head as I like to call it, because I have a giant forehead. And I'm going in with a little bit of a denser brush with that same bronzer just to kind of intensify it a little bit more, because the other brush was great at like contouring, but it was kind of sharing out the product a little, so I just kind of wanted a little more pigment, so I went in with a denser brush to give me a little bit more color payoff. Awesome. So now I'm going back into the chocolate bar palette, and I'm taking the darkest shade and just using a flat definer brush, sorry, I can't say that, to put that right up close to my lower lashes. And then I'm just using Salted Caramel on a e.l.f. pencil brush, a really good brush, really cheap, and blending that out on the lower lash line, really smoking it out. But not too much, because I don't want the lower lash line to be like darker or smokier than the upper lid, because then it would just throw the balance off. So we're just lightly blending those together. Awesome. So now I'm just going in with that same mascara that I used on my lashes, my upper lashes, to and coating that on my lower lashes, if that made any sense. Sorry, I can't talk today. Awesome. So now I'm going in with this awesome Wet n Wild blush. I believe it's called Pearlescent Pink. It's really comparable to NARS Orgasm. So I've heard. I've never tried NARS Orgasm, but this is a dupe for it, I have heard, through the grapevine, and it's really good. I'm using this on a e.l.f. dual fiber brush. And then for highlight, I'm going in with the Essence Pure Nude highlighter. Really, it's like a glow from within. I can't even describe this highlighter. It's beautiful. It just looks so natural. It makes your skin look just wet. It's so pretty. And the more you build it up, the more intense it gets, but it never starts to look fake or like it's sitting on top of the skin. It just like sinks right in. It's so good. And I'm putting that on my nose as well, and my Cupid's bow, and my chin. Oh, well, I didn't show that, but and now I'm going in with the Becca highlighter in Champagne Pop. You know, I gotta support my girl Jacqueline, and just putting that at the very high points of my cheeks. And I believe I put this on my nose as well, and my Cupid's bow. Cool, so now for lips. I'm using probably one of my favorite combinations that I found so far. I'm using this NYX lip liner. I will put the shade in the description bar below because I cannot remember to save my life, but I'm using this NYX lip liner to line the lips. Is anyone else like really precise when it comes to their lip line? Like, I cannot mess around with that. And then I'm using this Milani lipstick, and again, I cannot remember the name of it. It'll be in the description bar below, but this formula is one of the best formulas I've ever tried, and it's drugstore, guys. Like, it's so good. Really check out these Milani lipsticks. They're so comfortable, and they smell like vanilla. It's heavenly. All right, and to finish off this look, we are going to, of course, set the face, and I'm using my MAC Fix Plus to do this, just to melt all of the powders and, you know, everything that I put on my face together. Took a little bath in that. And guys, we're done. Can you believe it? I can't. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love you guys so much. I can't wait to see you in my next video. Have a good day, guys. Bye.